Something you're feeling has got you scared. Something inside you you never shared. And now you find it when you're all alone.
Hi, I'm Art Fein. Art Fein's Poker Party coming to you from the beautiful San Fernando Valley with a couple regular guys up here on the stage, but a very special guest singing. Let's take a listen to Kenny Vance. Kenny?
Sometimes you think you want to cry out loud. Sometimes you're walking inside a cloud. You can't say when it's gonna strike again. So you smile and you just pretend. You're hoping someday it's gonna end. But before you can move on, before you can move on, before you can move on, you got to stand alone. Something inside you has got you scared. Something you're feeling you never shared. And now you find it when you're all alone. Don't call out crying on the telephone, 'cause life, it's got a rhythm all its own. And before you can move on, before you can move on, before you can move on, you got to stand alone. You got to stand alone. No matter what you say, it's really the things that you do. Don't complicate the things you want. They're living inside of you. Sometimes the pieces just don't fit. You know it's wrong, but you still can't quit it. But signs appear and help to light the way. The storm will clear and clouds will fade away. And soon in time you'll smile and laugh and say, before you can move on, before you can move on, before you can move on, you got to stand. You got to stand alone. You got to stand alone. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Before you can move on, before you can move on, before you can move on, you got to stand. You got to stand alone.
It's Kenny Vance Band all the way from New York City. Before we chat with Kenny up here on the podium, let's have one more song. And Mr. Director, could you put the name Kenny Vance under him once in a while? That'd be good. Thank you.
Oh, do you remember the harp tones? This is one of their great classics, Life is But a Dream. Life is but a dream, it's what you make it. Always try to give, don't ever take it. Life has its music, life has its songs of love. Life is but a dream, and I dream of you, strange as it seems. Each night I see you, I'm trying to tell you just what you mean to I love you with all my heart, adore you and all your charms. I want you to do your part. Come back to my open arms. Life is but a dream, and we can live it. We can make our love none to compare with. Will you take part in my life, my love? That is my dream.
Stay there for a second, Kenny. I want to talk into the mic for a second. That's Kenny Vance, a famous solo singer and also a member of the legendary Jay and the Americans. Let me give the guys on the podium a quick run through. There's Bill Leibowitz. Bill, welcome to the show. Your fame precedes you as the owner of Golden Apple over on Melrose, and various doo-wop-like shows that we do here. You show up for Dion and people like that, and Kenny Vance.
I'm always ready to do-wop.
And various other golden apples, for that matter.
And various other Golden Apples.
The chain of golden apple.
Oh, okay. All right. We're not here to plug in. So we got Todd Everett.
I own nothing.
Enough said about him.
The legend precedes him.
Actually, that was "Life Is But a Dream," the Harptones song, which was played more or less straight. In a lot of your recordings, you kind of fiddle with the arrangements.
Right.
Rather than sit down immediately, would you show us? You're kind of doing what Jonathan King used to do. Remember, he used to do "It's My Party" in the Vanilla Fudge version, stuff like that. So,
all right.
yeah, right. So you have that same kind of concept where you're not exactly as weird as Jonathan King's, but
Change things around.
change things around a little bit. You got a song like that? You
Well,
can
yeah, I could sit over and just do a
Oh,
little bit
sure.
of a demonstration.
Okay, if you want to do without band, that'd be fine. Have a seat. Okay.
How you guys doing?
All right.
Take my shades.
So what are you doing here in Los Angeles, by the way? You're
Can we mic
we
him before
mic. Yeah, we got to get you mic'd.
I got a.
Just a second.
We'll talk to each other. Todd, what have you been doing lately?
Hey, not a whole lot. How about you?
Did you do any liner notes for any of these Jay and the Americans or Kenny Vance records?
No Jay and the Americans or Kenny Vance, but I've got a good MCA Neil Diamond record that
Liner notes
doesn't
coming on.
liner
So
notes.
the
It
kind of-
doesn't have Sunday and Me on it, but Kenny's going to tell us all about Sunday and Me.
What about Neil Diamond? Was there some connection?
He wrote it.
He wrote it.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I didn't know.
Gee, all right.
All right. So now we got Kenny
I'll
mic'd
tell
up.
you.
What are you doing here in L.A.?
Out here with the Planetones. We reformed the Planetones, a group that I put together for American Hot Wax. And we just played the Universal Amphitheater, and we're playing the
Doo-wop Society.
Doo-Wop Society show on the 14th out in, where?
Someplace off the San Bernardino
Off the
Freeway,
sticks, yeah.
But it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and I'm sort of getting back to the things that I always love to do.
Well, the Planetones was a fictional group, a group put together for a movie,
Right,
and so you reinvented them for
right,
this
right,
purpose for this show.
right.
last,
We play in New York a lot.
Isn't
that
the
right?
same guys who were in the movie?
Two of the same guys, Bruce Sedano, and two new guys.
Bruce Sedano. He's
Right.
Brooklyn Dreams.
Brooklyn Dreams, two of the
yeah.
guys from Brooklyn Dreams, and Murray Weinstock and David Foreman, two guys that I've known in New York for a while. So it's really a tight and fun group.
That's terrific.
Well, in the
Yeah.
movie, they were like a Danny and the Juniors, sort
Clone.
of Del
Well,
Vikings kind of group, because
yeah,
they did
well,
those two songs. But
Yeah.
Sort of like they were everybody
Right.
else all in
Yeah.
one.
Well, the director said he needed a white prototype group,
Yeah.
so I figured, well, I might as well do
Well,
it.
you were the movie we're talking about, American Hot Wax from 1978 or so.
Right.
You were the musical director of that
Right.
entirely, right?
Yeah.
So, did you come up with the idea of them, like the idea of the formulating of "Come Go With Me" on the spot, which was dramatized in the movie? Was that one of your things? Or was that in the script?
Oh, the scene with "Come Go With Me." We first of all I collaborated with the director Floyd Mutrix, and we figured out that we wanted to do "Come Go With Me," and then Richard Perry, who played the producer, who was an old friend of mine. You know, all we had to do was look into each other's eyes, and we kind of have been looking into each other's eyes for 30 years, and we just kind of fell into that, where it was sort of an improvisational thing where he said, no, 5 dames and a dambi doobie, and we just sort of...
It was great. He got to play George Goldner, too.
Right.
I mean,
Got to play his father-in-law.
That's right.
How many of us have wanted to play our father-in-law one time or another?
Well, I love that scene because it was like after Alan Freed was walking down this hallway and everybody was grabbing him, throwing acetates at him and asking him questions, and they had a problem and they said, there's no life in this session, what are we going to do? And George says, I don't know, he says, he looks at the janitor, you got big hands, come on, clap your hands. I mean, it was just like, this is how we make rock and roll, anything that works.
It's true, but that's really how it happened in those days. I mean, you'd have guys playing on ashtrays, guys, banging on the floor. Just if it felt right in those days, it didn't really, it didn't really matter on some level how it sounded, as long as it had the feeling.
Way back when you were with Jay and the Americans from the start, all the way back from the She Cried sessions back in 1906, I think it was. This is with the old Jay. That's those of you who are real connoisseurs of this genre. No, know that. Where's Jay? There.
That's
That's the old Jay. That was Jay number 1.
Yeah.
That was Jay Traynor, and then he sang She Cried.
Right.
Then Jay Black came in for subsequent records.
What did happen to Jay Traynor?
He's, I actually spoke to him about a year ago. He's working in Albany as a cameraman for a TV
There's Kenny
studio.
Vance. I'm going to run down some albums as long as they got the camera on me. There's a Kenny Vance album from about, 70?
That's got Looking for an Echo on it.
It's got Looking for an Echo?
Yeah, that's about
your album?
1976.
76?
Something like that.
Jane Americans,
Just
forget about
toss
that
those
one.
on the
Forget
floor,
about
Art.
that one.
That's-
There's another. Well, you see, Kenny's all.
Those are from the 40s. I
Kenny's
think.
Kenny's all over.
It's only
Anyway,
20 years of record collecting. Art.
these
Just
aren't
toss them on the
these
floor.
aren't 78s, are they, Bill? All right. So, whole bunch of Kenny Vance stuff in the Jane Americans context, as well as this Beaver Brown album. You produced the Eddie and the Cruisers soundtrack, which featured this band.
John Cafferty. Yeah.
What did I say?
How did you get involved in that?
I met the director at a party, and he said, I'm making a movie about Jersey in the 60s. And I said, well, I was with Jay and the Americans, and we played it in Wildwood, New Jersey in the 60s, and I have all of these photographs of, we drove like a 56 Pontiac down there with a U-Haul on the back carrying our instruments, and I showed him that picture, and that's what he used for the Cruisers.
Oh, no kidding.
And he says, I got to hire you to do it. And I read the screenplay, and I realized that I needed to try to find a real-life Eddie and the Cruisers. And that, I had seen a group about 3 or 4 years ago at the Bitter End in New York, and it was John Cafferty, and I called them up and I said, you guys want to work on a film? And they were about a week away. They had been together 11 years, and they were about a week away from getting day jobs.
Yeah, right.
Because things were going nowhere, and they thought I was putting them on, and we sold, I don't know, 3-4 million albums with that.
So let me race through the biography as best as I can. These guys will fill me in when I make a mistake. But there's the Jay and the Americans from the start, and that was from Brooklyn?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
what do I know? I'm not from New York. It's all the same to me.
But were you with anybody before that? Did you say?
I was with a
formally?
group called the Harbor Lights. It was with Sandy Yaguda from the Americans and a girl. We made a couple of records managed by Jim Gribble, who managed the Mystics and the Mellow Kings and the Passions and all of those groups. And Jay Traynor was singing with the Mystics that did Hushabye, and we just decided to start our own group. And a guy in the neighborhood named Terry Phillips brought us over to Lieber and Stoller, and Lieber and Stoller made the She Cried record with us. They put it out, it bombed. 4 months later, someone on the West Coast was playing it, it became a big hit, and here
It's
I
funny
am.
because you don't think of Jay and the Americans as being a group with any sort of West Coast following, particularly at all.
She Cried was such an interesting and avant-garde record for the time that it seems that the East wouldn't embrace it, that it needed to really break on the West Coast, which...
And the flip side, Dawning, was this incredible record too.
That's true.
Geez, that was a wonderful
Yeah.
song. So then, okay, so Jay and the Americans for many, many years, you were associated with that band, as well as the later days of Jay and the Americans had Becker and Fagan of Steely Dan as the backup band.
Right. you know, we had a string of hits up until 1966, and then 67 and 68. Things were really bad, and you needed to have a hit in order to work, and United Artists set us up with Joe Wizard, produced us, who was hot with the Turtles and produced a bomb with us. And then they hooked us up with the guy that produced Traffic, Jimmy Miller, who wound up producing Jumpin' Jack Flash and the Rolling Stones. He produced us with a Stevie Winwood song in 1967 called Shanghai Noodle Factory, which bombed. And then someone else produced us, and we just figured, you know, listen, we better do it ourselves because we understand what we need to do better than anyone else. And we went to United Artists, and we went back to a 4-track recording studio in 1969 and made an album called The Sands of Time. And on that album was a tribute album to Alan Freed, and we made This Magic Moment, and that became the biggest hit that we ever had, actually. It sold about...
Is that right?
Yeah.
But then you were doing oldies, because that was already
We were
hit.
doing remakes, right.
So it was like a pin-ups album or something like that, sort of before its time.
Pinups.
I don't
Using-
Like the David Bowie.
You're using a
pin-ups.
David Bowie
Jesus
reference
Christ.
on this show?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Moondog Matinee.
Yeah, better.
Well, that's I always thought of Jay and the Americans as like almost the White Drifters, too, in the early times. It seemed like
Well-
Only in America was like a song that the Drifters would have done if they were...
They did do it.
Yeah.
It's because
But I mean, it was a hit because they
Yeah.
were white guys. I mean.
we were produced by Lieber and Stoller, and they were producing the Drifters, and they just basically fit us into that mold.
Were they looking specifically, do you think, for White Drifters?
No, they really didn't like us. They really liked the Coasters and the Drifters and Sammy Turner and Annie Williams and these black artists that they were producing, and Big Mama Thornton. What had happened was they got very hot as they called their company IRP, Independent Record Producers. It was an unheard of thing, and
In the 50s, you mean?
in the late 50s, early 60s, and there was no such thing as an independent record producer, and so they got hot, and United Artists, the big company at that time, offered them a production deal, so they had to basically fill their commitment
Fill
to
an order.
United Artists,
Yeah.
fill an order.
Yeah.
So we were there, and they decided to fill an order. We had a hit, so they had to stick with us, and that's sort of...
You'd started getting into Fagan and Becker, how they got involved.
Okay,
So
so
you did the Sands of
things
Time
were
album.
very cold, and we decided to open an office. So we opened an office in the Brill Building, and one day, these two guys knock on the door. It's 1968, with trench coats on, and they said, you know, we took the elevator up to the top floor, and we've been walking down, knocking on doors, and no one will listen to our songs. They said, if you don't have a tape. So I said, well, come on in. We got a piano, and let's hear what you got. And they played songs like Charlie Freak and Parker's Band and Any World That I'm Welcome To and other songs. And they were kind of Brain Tap Shuffle, strange songs. And, you know, in 1968, songs like It's My Party and I'm Gonna Cry If I Want To were hits, so people really weren't that open to songs like the Brain Tap Shuffle. But I started making records with them, and actually they played on the this Capture the Moment album, which was the second to last album that we made. And the last single that we made was a remake again of There Goes My Baby, which only appears in a single. Do you have that?
No.
Well, I'll have to get you a
Okay,
copy
good.
of that.
You have to get me one
I
of
have
those,
it.
yeah.
I have it. Backed with Solitary Man, and Donald and Walter did the arrangements and became part of our band. And then
That's something else that they didn't put on this album. This with Trisha Tell Your Daddy, which I've got to ask
Oh,
you about.
boy.
That's a wonderful song, yeah.
yeah, Marty Coopersmith and Jeff Barry wrote that song, and there was you know, some nuclear crisis at the time.
It was directed
Nixon
at
was the
Nixon.
president, and it was sort of a letter to his daughter, Trisha. Tell your daddy, you know, we want to stop the fighting and all that. But no one ever heard that record.
Was that unusual? Did you get any flack from anybody from that, or did everybody say, "My, what a wonderful thing for a bunch of guys from Brooklyn to be doing this"? Or what?
You mean that particular
Yeah.
song? No one ever heard it.
Well, that was
It's
played
one
on
of
the
our
radio.
favorites.
Yeah, it was played on the radio.
Well,
Something you said earlier was interesting that your hit stopped, the Jane the Americans hit stopped in '66.
Right.
That means you guys weathered the first 2 years of the Beatles, which is a pretty amazing thing.
yeah, but we had Caramia in 1966, and we had Let's Lock the Door and Come a Little Bit Closer, and we just were really on a roll. So, as a matter of fact, we opened the show for the Beatles the first time they ever played in America in Washington, D.C. I think it was February 16th, 1964.
Oh, really?
And the next night, that was a Friday night, and that Sunday they played on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, so was anybody there at the Washington show?
It was packed, and we went on, and you know, we had the alpaca sweaters and the Dickies on, and you know, and the audience loved it. And we were used to that kind of a reception because we had a bunch of hits, and we had played at the Brooklyn Fox for Murray the K. But then, all of a sudden, you saw about 50 police officers surrounding these 4 guys that were coming down from the top of the stadium.
Yeah.
And a roar went up that I had never heard anything like it. It was you know, to me, at the time, I said, God, this is what it must have sounded like when Babe Ruth hit his 60th home run or something like that. But it was that sound that sort of ushered in a whole new, you know, time. And they screamed through their whole show. You couldn't really hear what they were doing. It was just a constant scream.
I know you got questions, but speaking of hearing what you're doing, you were going to play something a little for us sitting here.
Oh, you got any water?
We'll send somebody out for some water. But,
Yeah, just this cup or something like
we
that.
can talk.
But
We can talk until
you
the
said
water
I
comes.
changed things around. So for the people that know Heartbreak Hotel by Elvis Presley,
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
how does it go? Well, since my baby, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. It's at the end of Lonely Street, Heartbreak Hotel, and I'll be so lonely, baby. I'll be so lonely, baby. I'll be so lonesome I could cry.
You did that so well. I think we got a glass of water here for you.
Okay, great.
And what about
Trickle, trickle.
Trickle Trickle?
Yeah, speaking of,
My personal favorite.
We all know
Trickle
this.
Trickle
That's
by the
everybody's
Videos.
Yeah.
Right.
Ronnie, dig my clothes, yeah, boy. One button low. You know I'm sharp as a tack when you lend me your Cadillac. Gotta go to a party, yeah. Please lend me your short. If you could take it, I know you can make it. I won't see my baby no more, 'cause she said, trick, trickle, slop, slop. I just got to see my sweet gum drop. She's there waiting and I'm hesitating. Tell me how long will this rain last? Trick, trickle, slop, slop. I just got to see my sweet gum drop. She's there waiting and I'm hesitating. Tell me how long will it last?
Sharp. You know,
why
we're
did the Videos think to
You
do
know,
it that way?
you know, not being a musician, I mean, were you sitting around listening to the Videos, which is a real wild doo-wop song?
Right.
It's like, hey,
Trick, trickle, slop, slop.
Boom, boom. Yeah.
Youngsters
But I mean,
might remember
do
the
you say,
Manhattan
gee,
Transfer
those
version.
words are great. I think I'll do it as a ballad. I mean, that's,
You know how, like the Short Vacation album, how a lot of it came about was that I was working with Pete Himmelman at the time, the co-producer. I was making a record with him, and I just do these songs as I remember them in my imagination, almost like they're a dream, and that's how they sound to me. I don't want to copy Elvis Presley. I don't want to copy the Videos. You can't touch those records. But
so you say you play around New York.
Yeah.
If I was going to New York, how would I possibly catch you playing?
call me up. I'll tell
Well,
you where.
okay. We'll run your number at the end of the show.
The
But what about
Vance
people that are
hotline.
watching? Where might they catch you?
Play at the Roadhouse.
Where's that?
Played at the
I
Bottom
haven't
Line.
been there
Roadhouse
lately.
is on 52nd Street, the Lone Star Roadhouse. Played at the Bottom Line. Play at a place called Giorgio's in New Jersey, and we're actually
New Jersey, that's a big state. Is there any particular town there?
You know, I
Okay.
really don't know. I just take Route 46. And
Okay. Ask for Giorgio.
Just asking.
Yeah, okay. And you're doing this with the band, with the Reformed
Planetones, yeah, this is all the Planetone stuff.
And that was those are some of the Planetones you had with
Murray's
you tonight?
here, one of the Planetones. The other guys went back east, and we're going to try to make an album with the Planetones. That's my next thing.
I'll buy it.
Okay.
You know, the thing that we were talking before, and you said, you know, these songs, if you know the old songs, you'll appreciate it, but if you don't know the songs, you
Right.
still like the current arrangement.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you don't know the songs from the old days, they still have a certain credibility to the way they are now, the way I'm changing them.
All right.
Got sort of a last number?
Yeah, sort of the last number.
Yeah, with Murray and the guys. Yeah.
Well, then have to make it mighty fast because we're running out of time. We got like a minute.
Maybe a little.
No, a
maybe a little
minute?
something. Maybe a little something.
Unplug it. Unplug yourself.
Okay. A minute.
Yeah, it's not too good.
Could do little boxes.
Yeah, how about Gloria? How about Lights?
This is the real Gloria, not the Van Morrison Gloria, I take it.
And
It's
Gloria by
the Mills
Cadillac.
Brothers, Gloria.
Nice talking to you guys.
Gloria, it's not Mary, it's Gloria. It's not Sherry, it's Gloria, and she's not in love with me. Oh, can't you see? It's not Mary, it's Gloria. It's not Sherry, it's Gloria, and she's not in love with me. Well, maybe she loves me, but who am I to know? Well, maybe she wants me, but who am I to know? It's Gloria, it's not Mary, it's Gloria. It's not Sherry,